Live.
Yay! Well, welcome everybody. We are extra excited today for this workshop. So today, Kristi is going to be talking about the mom's guide to generating steady income through leases. And I have to just say, I'm so jealous because my market does not compensate us on leases. And I'm like, dang, it's such a miss. But maybe I can take this training today and like petition the board or something. I don't know. But Kristi, I'm super excited for you to dive in today and just share your successes and tell us all the wins. So welcome, friend.
Thank you. So excited. So let's see. I also hold on. I also have a can I screen share?
Yeah, you're good to screen share. And also, Kristi, will you tell everybody just a little bit about, yourself, how you got started and how you've kind of supplemented in between the sales with leases, which I think is so genius for moms that are getting started in the business.
Yeah, and I've met with a lot of people and they're like, "Oh, they don't do that in our area." And I'm like, "But have you asked?" And a lot of them are like, "No, it's not worth my time." And let me tell you, it is worth your time. I make bank on leases, and I'm on like month 15. And I'm a former middle school teacher of over a decade. And most of the time, I make more than I did as my teacher salary, which was my goal.
Mm.
And it's because of leases in between closings as a new agent. And so if you think that your market may not do that, won't know though until you call and ask. And so I ideally get half of first month's rent on home leases, and then apartments I get between 100 and 125% of first month's rent.
Mm.
And it's quick.
It's
Like they move in a week from like start to finish. It's about a week process. And then I usually have a check within like 30 days.
so
So it's
good.
really fast.
So good. So now you're going to show moms how to build this, right?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me go ahead and start sharing. Um, all right. All right. I'm gonna go small. Okay. Are y'all good? Can y'all see my screen?
Yes, ma'am. All good.
Perfect. I'm gonna put y'all up here though, just a little bit, just in case I need to see. Okay, so this is Leasing 101, a mom's guide to generating steady income. And yes, I have done this. Yes, I'm currently doing this. And yes, it does work. Um, Okay, so I'm Kristi. I am from the suburbs of Houston, Texas. I was a middle school teacher for over a decade. I've got 5 kiddos, a daughter-in-law, and I have a new grandbaby on the way. And I literally am married to a saint. I have so many dreams, and my husband just goes along with whatever all the time. I'm also a Connect and Cultivate chapter leader. I have a new agent boot camp coming out, and you usually can find me at a beach if I'm not at home. All right, so why leasing is good for all realtors, no matter if you are new or if you are seasoned or if you've been in it your whole entire life, this can work for everyone. So we have quick cash flow, fast turnaround, and it helps to fill in the gaps. And that's really what it's doing right now in my own business. Most of the time, start to finish, I work with leasing clients about 2 weeks. But the the real success is in the follow-up. So like once you're closing those lease deals, so for example, last May I closed 3, and all 3 of them are now my buyers for this May. So we are starting in 2 weeks on their home buying journey. And I kind of like go over things like that in my leasing consultation, and I treat them just as buyers. So they sign all of my documents up front. I have my buyer rep agreement in place, and I really focus on them, and I do pop buys with them, and I really try to stay top of mind. I text them often. And so your follow-up is where your bread and butter. So even if in your market you're like, oh, they only pay like 100 or 200 bucks. That may be the case the first time, but eventually they may turn into a buyer, and you are going to get that return tenfold multiple times. And so if you're a new agent, how this works is I did this as a new agent. Like I said, I'm only like a year and a half in my real estate business. But it helped me to like get my feet wet, learn and get experience of like talking with clients and like explaining things. And then it really helped boost my confidence, especially if when I'm kicking them out, multiple times. Um, it really gives you that confidence boost that you need as a new agent. And then it helps you build your pipeline for later. I usually work with people moving to Houston. My husband is an engineer for an oil and gas company. And so, like, when he gets new people on his team, sometimes he sends them to me. I've also gotten buyers from those leases as well. Um, but most of my leasing comes from social media. So I'll show you that. I sent an email this morning that had a Google Doc attached. So you can have exactly what you need to do, what I collect up front, things like that. So we can go over that as well. But I mean, if they're not a buyer or seller, they need a lease, is how I look at it. And then, okay, so to be an expert, you really need to be an expert like in your area. So you have to find the trends. So what I did is I went to my local MLS and they give us like market reports. And so that's kind of where I got this from. And so I really know what the leasing market looks like here. And but the more you do it, the more you'll know, but you won't know until you kind of dive in. All right, so here's the good part. So where I'm located, the commissions are paid by the apartment complex if you're doing apartment locating. And our license covers apartment locating for Texas. And so I usually get 100% to 125% of the first month's rent. And then I'm usually paid within 30 days. I have negotiated rent prices, extended specials for my clients. I've negotiated like their admin fees. I've had them waived completely, application fees waived. I mean, all kinds of things, deposits. Really, that's where you can like negotiate what your client may need based on what they're looking for and how much money they have up front. For home leases, I have went with longer leases to get them a smaller monthly rent. And so I really use that as leverage to help my clients when they're looking for something. We're like, okay, they want a 12-month lease. What if we go 18 and then we knock $100 off of rent? Well, that locks that landlord in for 18 months of steady income coming in from that home. So you really want to like negotiate and like really go to bat for your client. All right, so you want to find them like the perfect home or apartment that matches like their lifestyle, the location, what exactly they're looking for, and then make sure you follow up. So make sure you're staying top of mind, do the pop buys. I can show you, let's see. I'm going to stop share for a second and I'm going to kind of show you what my pop buys look like for my leases. Okay, can y'all see me again? Okay, so like this was my New Year's pop buy. So instead of doing like Christmas, I went in and did like a popcorn movie night and it's like filled with everything. And I write handwritten cards. So like every client gets a handwritten card from me. And I go put this on their porch. I do not ring the doorbell. I just snap a picture and text it to them. And then I have 100% success rate of clients reaching back out after I've dropped off this. So this is my leasing pop by for New Year's, and I dropped them off on New Year's Day. I didn't want to be like everybody else leaving stuff on their porch for Christmas. They're already getting a lot for Christmas. So I did a movie night in a bucket. And then those that turned into buyers, this is my buyer pop by. And so they get a whole s'mores machine and then they get a bag with a handwritten card. It has a big bag of the Hershey's, the marshmallows, and the graham crackers. And I also have 100% success rate of client communication back with me. And 95 of those that were married, both spouses reached out to me separately on these. So that was really successful for me this year.
Sorry, Chris,
Sure.
can I pause for a second and point something out? So
Yeah.
you've already had some people that you went to help with leases turn into buyers, right?
Yes, I actually have 3 active buyers right now from leases last summer.
Yeah, so that is like one of the biggest takeaways because you said something in the beginning where it was like, people are like, well, it's not, it's not that high worth my time. It's not that high paying, which it is. Like you already showed that it absolutely is. You can replace,
Yes.
a teacher's salary with it. But then when you
Yeah.
start realizing the compounding effect, like in the next 3 to 5 years, your business is going to explode.
Yeah.
Your sales business is going to be huge because of the way that you're loving on these people in the lease term. And so that's already
Yeah.
happened for you. That's huge.
And I wasn't really good at follow-up at the beginning because you don't know what you don't know. And if you don't know it, you don't know to do it. So this was my first official pop by actually in my 14 months since I've been an agent. But the bucket for my lease client, and the reason why I do this is because the s'mores maker and stuff is a little more expensive. I mean, some people spend hundreds of dollars. I just can't do that. I have 5 kids. And so that's not feasible for me. But like this bucket costs like $8, I think. I bought these the day after Christmas. And so they were half price. Oh, look, and I even write them a little note on the outside. So if they use it later, and then they got extra bags of popcorn, candy, and oh, I even bought extra butter packets. Like I tried to think of like everything. And then in my card, it just says, hey, I'm just popping by, hoping that you have a great 2025. Nothing about real estate and no like swag that's related to real estate in any way. This is just to let them know I was thinking about them. And so, like I said, every single client responded, reached out, and I've even had them like on their movie night, a couple of them sent me a picture of them and their dog, or I even had one girl send it to me and her boyfriend that they were using my whole bucket for a movie night and it was filled with popcorn. So I thought that was really special. And it worked out because I just wanted them to know that I was thinking about them. Um,
Do
and
you
then, like I
do, Kristi, do you do Popeyes monthly or how often do you do them?
This was my first one.
Oh, good.
That's what I was saying. Like I didn't know what I didn't know. And so I drove, me and my husband drove, filled up my whole back for all of my clients and drove to all of the apartments and then all of the houses. And I even provide them for my sellers, even if I didn't represent them on both sides. Like if I didn't do buy and sell. Oh, thank you.
The
And
the
so
orphan clients. I know agents that pick up like so much business because they do that. They just market to both people on the side. And 9 times out of 10, the client comes back to them and doesn't even realize they didn't represent them in the original sell.
yeah, see,
Yeah.
I represented a couple of them on the buy side because they were new builds and they didn't know they needed it, that they could use an agent. And so, but so it was fine. And they were like new clients. And let me just tell you, every client I've had so far is not one person in my sphere. It's like I'm 3 removed, or it's
Mm,
from social media. And so a lot, I'll show you in just a minute, like how I stand out against the rest. But like these were great touches, and I'm going to do this quarterly. So I'm going to love on my clients every quarter for leases or buy or sell.
I love
So I
that.
have a game plan going forward. Okay, let's see. I want to go to, there we go. Okay, can y'all see again?
Yes. Yep. We got it.
Okay. All right, so um, how I find leasing clients, let me just tell you, my number one is social media. Um, but you can post a poll. I've gotten them from my stories. It's a lot of people like go into people's DMs. That kind of feels icky to me. I don't really do that. But a lot of people get a lot of business. Like if somebody posts something and then they just click on their name and message them. I particularly don't do that, but a lot of people do, and they really do get good results from it. Um, I'm just I just can't. So I don't. But most of mine are from local Facebook groups and then like people that I know that they know and then they know. So I'm about, like I said, 3 removed from my sphere at this point. And then this is what my comments look like. It's like, hey, I'm a local realtor. My kids go to Katie Scholes. I'd be happy to help you. Call or text me anytime. But do you notice this is what my actual post sign that looks like whenever I list houses and I post a picture? Do you know, like nobody else posts theirs? And so my number one comment is, oh my gosh, I picked yours because yours was so bright pink, I couldn't ignore it. And so that gets me the most business, and I get the most people commenting or like messaging me and calling me because they liked my my sign post
That's
that
such
I
a good
made.
little hack. I see your comments like throughout things and different things like agent to agent. And that's exactly what catches my eye. I'm like, oh, there's Kristi. I don't read
Yep.
anything, but I just see you, and that's exactly it. You're disrupting the feed.
Yeah. And I mean, most everybody, it's like, oh, I can help, call me. Or it's like the hype thing where they're just posting their business card. But mine stands out, and that I get so much feedback just from that, or people like calling me because it was so bright and they're like, I couldn't unsee it. And so that's kind of what I'm known for. I mean, my signs in the yards look exactly the same. That is my actual sign. And so like my QR code actually goes to my agent page on my local MLS, so they can see like how many houses I've sold in the last like 6 months, and like all the showings I've scheduled and what areas I'm in and ways to contact me. So it kind of has like all of my information. And then here's a social media plan. So what I do is I really use Chat GPT. If you do not, you should be. I talk to it like I would talk to my best friend, and it knows me so well. It uses my slang. It says y'all. It talks about like all the things that I do in real life, like gardening and making my bread, and it really adapts to like sound like something I would like say. And so I just typed into ChatGPT, give me specific posts, 20 for Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn. And then here's what I want. It's about leases. Give me some facts, some polls I can post, stuff I can put in my stories. And it really creates me a whole plan for each of these, and they're not the same. And you're going to get this in that Google Doc. It gives you some ideas. And so make sure that you're using like leasing guidelines. I know not all the states are the same, but I really use apartmentdata.com, and that's in multiple markets, not in every state. But I did find some others. And so in my recap email, I'll send like some websites that I found that you can use in multiple states. And then make sure that you're using the NAR Code of Ethics. And remember that fair housing laws apply to leases as well. And then we can do some Q&A, but I have a new agent boot camp launching in March. If you would like to join the wait list for information, I'm going to have lots of great founding member benefits. And it'll be a 12-week course. And then there's my phone number, my social media, and an email. And then I have a website coming soon. And then also y'all all got the Flowdesk link. And that's really how I follow up. So if you need help with that, I am more than happy to like hop on calls or Zooms and kind of walk you through registering for like the local apartment group that you have, and like social media posts, or if you need help with Flowdesk and getting things set up, I'm more than happy to do that.
Love it. It was super efficient, straight to the point, and how to make money. So do we have any questions for Kristi? We want to make sure those of you in the Zoom room get the opportunity to ask those questions first. So you can drop them over. Okay, we do have one question, so you can drop them in the chat or just come off mute and ask them. But how did you make that cute card is what one person asked.
Which card?
I don't know which
It
card.
was just your social
You want
media.
you?
The cute one that you said that stands out. Did you just do that on Canva? It was super cute.
Yes,
Oh,
so
yeah,
I
yeah.
made it on Canva, but that's my actual like T-post sign that goes into my listings. So like
Oh,
in the
got
front.
it.
And so
Okay.
that's what I made. And then I had someone print that into my big, huge sign. But my huge sign is that exact sign. And so like I
Okay.
have people call me, even if they're not even looking to buy, they're like, oh my God, I love your sign. Or, oh my gosh, I love the hot pink. I never see that. And so like I get multiple comments. And, I'm like, okay, that's a touch point. Even if I don't get anything from it, my whole life is about building relationships. Buying or selling and getting them as clients is like my bonus. And so I don't focus on that. I focus on the relationship part first because that's really what I care about.
Thanks for
So
answering.
good.
I had one more other quick question.
Sure.
As far as
Yeah.
compensation, when you're working with clients and they're finding like homes on Zillow, do you go to those landlords and ask if they'll pay a compensation to you to
So your
represent?
local MLS should have, I can show you my local MLS has a rental section, and I just call the agent and I ask okay, so like I treat my leasing clients like they're buyers, right? I have them sign my buyer rep, I have them do my IABS, my broker note, like all my forms. And then I ask them, okay, not all these houses may be paying compensation. Are you okay to pay 50% of 1 month's rent? Or if they are not paying, would you prefer to skip? Because some of them, by the time they pay a deposit or double deposit if their credit's bad, because I work with all clients. Like I've had some with like 400 credit scores. We offer triple deposit so you can get that house. And so I give them like ways to do it. And even if they're not quite ready, I help them. My lender friend will do a soft pull and we will help them figure out how many years until they could buy. And then she sets them up on like a like credit, not repair, but like helps them figure out what they need to do when they need to pay it off and how long she thinks it might take them.
Awesome. All right.
So I
Thank
treat
you
them
for
like buyer.
answering.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Debbie was asking how much the boot camp is, Kristi.
I am I have about 2 more weeks of finalizing everything, but if you join the waitlist, I'll send information to you. I'm not quite to the offer part of how much it's going to cost just yet, but I'm almost finished creating everything. And this is
Yay.
what my week is like, by the way. So we'll have a week of one specific skill every week.
Love that. I absolutely love that. Kristi, I was going to ask you a question, but I forgot what I was going to say. Kristen, do you have anything for Kristi?
No, I loved it. I loved how direct you are and just like got it all out. It's good.
Yeah, I really, really would love to incorporate this in my business. I actually